There's what's known as bonding as a method of protecting the government, individuals, or corporations against loss through the dishonesty of others or the failure of others to fulfill contracts or obligations. Yes. Surety companies and insurance companies issue such bonds, which include fidelity bonds, surety bonds, bail bonds, and appeal bonds. Now, there are a lot of bonds that I've been wanting to get. Could we go through again the bonding of all of those that are oaths that, as a condition of your employment, you filled out an application and paid for an actual bond? And your obligation was to fulfill your duty and obligation to enforce the laws. Yeah. Now, these surety companies and insurance companies that issue the bonds for every city, county, state, and the federal government, yeah. Why don't you get me all their bonds? Because I'm going to want them. Pooh. Now, fidelity bonds are obtained by many employers for employees who handle money or property. Yeah. If the employee steals money or commits a dishonest act, now let's think about dishonest acts for just a second. Yeah. Here's a dishonest act. Yeah. You decide that you're going to use a look-alike as my wife when motioning court for protection orders. Yes. And somebody's going to pay you to do that. It's not going to be her actual signature. Right. It's going to be the signature of Heidi Lee Budner, her look-alike. Yes. You're going to give custody of my sons to a look-alike of my wife because she's in protective custody of Homeland Security. Yes. Because I'm important or because my sons are important? Now, I just showed you a dishonest act. Right. Here's a dishonest act. Ooch, without prejudice, you found me incompetent when I wasn't in Vernon. Yes. And you would not admit the exculpatory evidence. Now, there must be in this Black Laws Dictionary, right, what is known as dishonesty. Yes. 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 Now, exactly what's necessary for me to be able to get the bonding of every employee of the government so that you no longer are employable? Dishonest acts. The act of using a signature of somebody that's not an actual employee of the government. The dishonest acts of having dogs as employees that are not actual persons. Now, when I look at the bonding companies that issued these, yeah, what was the actual premium that you paid for them? Because I'm absolutely sure that I can sue for every one of them. Now you cannot, dishonest acts. Yes. You arrest me for crimes in Sequim, Washington, where I wasn't there. You used duplicity. Yes. You made it up twice in the same fucking day. And then you use multiplicity when you say that Jefferson County. Now, it's dishonest to try and cover up your crime. Now, dishonest. Dishonest. Yep. Discriminate function, discretion statement, discrimination, discovery, discretion, dishonest. Sheriff. Dishonest. Disgrading, dishonor, dishonesty. Fraudulent act. Deceitfulness as a character trait, behavior that deceives or cheats people, untruthfulness, untrustworthiness. Yes. Now, for those of you that are in the judiciary, yeah, judge, each of you, in every county, yeah. It's untruthful, and it has cheated me and the people of the United States of your deceitful character traits of those that are in the family. Now, this behavior that's been deceiving, yes. This is deceiving. Oh, the court found on page 1 that the respondent had actual notice. No, it didn't. The respondent didn't have actual notice. It's a dishonest act, a fraudulent act, and it's dishonesty to say that I did get actual notice when I didn't get actual notice. Now, this abuse of power on the part of the judiciary, you're sure that you're not going to prison. Well, you're sure of it. You're absolutely sure, court commissioner. you're sure that you're not going to prison. Well, let's look at the bonding necessary, okay? How many churches have a pastor, a reverend, or a minister? Right. That the respondent is restrained from going within 300 feet of the First Baptist Church of Sequim, 1323 Sequim, Dungeness Way. Yeah. Now, this Baptist church, Greg Miller. Did you dishonestly make any statements about me where you got paid something in compensation to have the protection order modified? Is there any bonding requirements for the ordained, the avowed, or those that had sworn that if they have any knowledge of somebody falsely accused and falsely imprisoned, they had the obligation that I could sue their umbrella policy, yes, their church's malpractice policy, their bonding. Well, let's look at the actual insurances of each and every one of you that is ordained, yes, licensed. That said that I don't have to inform law enforcement. In fact, as a mandatory form, well, I'm going to want your insurance coverage now. Now, Kingsway, Mike, I did see you at the Dairy Queen. Yeah, I did want to speak to your wife, and the police department took the side of Mike because Mike didn't tell them, right, that Mike was the B on Tom Bryant. Yes. And he did hear what I said about wanting to have sex with his wife. Yeah. And you spent the last 6 years torturing. Give me the insurances of America's religious institutions. Now you would have thought, that those that had actual knowledge of any dishonesty, yeah, that has deceived me and my family, has cheated us, yes, of the right to sue those, yes, they would have realized that their insurance company's going to pay so much fucking money right now. Give me all the insurance contracts for the denomination of Foursquare. Now, I want. Mike, you didn't tell the police that you were listening in on a private conversation, did you? You tried to make it look like I was the crazy Christian that had a demon. Yes. That was using drugs when I wasn't. Yes. That I was the alcoholic. Yes. I was the porn addict. Yes. Why do I feel like everything that you said about me is actually you? And every bad trait that you have, you made it sound like it was me, but it was you. Now I'm going to want to sue for the bonding, yes, and the insurances, yes, of those that say, right, that we can allow for the deceitful, dishonest, yes, individuals that have an actual legal obligation, a duty to care, assembly of gods. Now get me the insurances of Christianity. I'm going to want to know what you're insured for. Pooch. I'm going to want to know, yes, that your failure to fulfill some sort of obligation. I'm going to sue every